Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. We appreciate you guys coming on. Let me see if I'm going to be able to see folks saying hello here today. And it says I'm going to, but I don't know. I never know until I see the scroll moving. There, I see it today. Brahim, how are you? Numero uno. Rosalinda, Andrea, both from Niagara Falls. Ilana, Rosa, Moriel, hello. I'm so happy when I see that scroll. Hi, Nativity. And Nativity's asking how I'm doing. Thank you, Nativity, for asking. Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec, bonjour. Sylvia, Janice from Brampton, how are you? Bonnie, Little Britain. And Kevin, there he is, from rainy Oshawa. Marla, chilly Oregon. Darlene, good morning from Alberta. Brett, how are you? From Gaffney, South Carolina. Well, how is you? Nellie. And Dave and Helga from Scarborough. Joanne from Berks Falls. Dennis, how are you, my friend, from Norwich? Nick, there's Nick from our staff. And Leah, Victoria, Susan from Florida. How are you, Sue? Hi, Fran from Orangeville. Isn't it nice to be recognized, Fran? Francis, Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Janine, how are you? And Brahim said Andrea was first. Well, Milika, Rita, how are you? Karen from Huntsville, beautiful Huntsville. Lynn, Aurora, Elaine, St. John's, Newfoundland. Shirley from Tavistock. How are you? Judy, Mitchell, Linda. We love Lindas, New Brunswick. Marlo is from Ottawa. Diane is from Peterborough, Ontario. John, how are you? From Elgin, Illinois. Teresa, I think, John? Dave. Dave saying hello to Kevin. Shireen, how are you? And Cheryl. Dina, or Dinah. Did I say Dina, or I meant to say Dinah? Eileen. Lisa. Good morning. Couple more, guys. Hi, Joyce from Kansas. Karen, Sue St. Marie, and she's on her new iPad. Catherine from Springdale, Newfoundland. Gail, good morning from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Karen from Peterborough. Patricia from Florida. Dale, good morning. Nice to say hello to you guys. I love the feed when I can see it. John and Linda, Fenland Falls, Beverly, New Brunswick. Anne from Lively, good morning. Yvonne from Petawawa. Donna, Newfoundland. And Maria from Ottawa. Amber, New Jersey. John says he finally got on. Guys, thanks for coming on. Rebecca from Brantford. Brantford. Shauna, Val Cadon. Sonia from Beamsville. Elaine, I'm going to say hello to Doc McEwen. I don't see her name, but I often go on afterwards and see her name. Hi, Rita. Hi, Lise. And Beverly. And Donna saying hello to Elaine. Hi, Vince. How are you? Okay, let's get to the questions. Hi, Shelley. Excuse me. Sherwood Park, Alberta. And Brahim is saying hello to his friend, Kevin. Hi, Judy. Hi, Jean. Carol from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Darla is asking the question, good question, Doc, can I take too much magnesium? Well, yeah, I guess you could. I mean, really, the only side effect of taking too much magnesium would be you would have a loose stool, maybe some diarrhea. The vast majority of the people never take enough magnesium. They just don't. And that's well documented. But yeah, I guess you could take too much. But what you're doing, taking 2 capsules of magnesium biglycinate, and then taking, you're saying at night, you take an Epsom salt bath. No, you wouldn't even be close to taking too much magnesium, Darla. Actually quite good for you. I love Epsom salt baths. They're good for you. They're magnesium salts. Great. So no, don't worry. I never, can I say that I shouldn't say I've never seen a case of it, but I've never seen, other than a loose stool, maybe some diarrhea, I've never seen anything else with people taking too much magnesium, okay? There's no need to take too much of it, but on the other hand, to be honest, I've never seen like anything serious come out of serious side effects from taking, like overdosing on magnesium. All my years, I've never seen it. Rafaela, I want to ask Dr. Martin about the importance of deworming. How to do it right, especially if doctors do not teach that kind of information. Someone does not know where to start. Well, Rafaela, whether you have worms, whether you have parasites, whether you have yeast, fungus, candida, always start with your liver. Because your liver is the big detox organ. People like to start with their bowel because they think that's the place where they got to do their deworming. Look, I'm not against cleaning out the bowel to some extent, but it's the blood you want to take care of. It's the blood. Where you're going to get side effects, not that you couldn't get some, you get an intestinal bug, for example, can give you severe diarrhea or like food poisoning or whatever. But guys, at the end of the day, if you have parasites, and most people do, you have yeast, and most people do, you need to have a clean liver. So you got to start with your liver. I'm very focused in on that. And that's why the reset, one of the reasons the reset is so good, because when you empty the liver will take care of any foreign adversary that you have in your body, including heavy metals like mercury and lead, cadmium, aluminum, microplastics. Your body is made to detox, okay? Your brain has its own detox system, its own self-cleaning oven, only when you sleep. So an empty liver, get a good sleep, probiotics. When you have a broad spectrum probiotic, there are certain strains, especially the L. reuteri and the L. rhamnosus, are proven to deworm you. Oil of oregano. Have you ever heard of that? Okay? Oil of oregano, the makers of it, they owe me money. I made them famous. Okay? I had a radio show for 20 years, and you know what they used to say? Dr. Martin, you're going to say oil of oregano. It's always in a part of your answers. Pretty well true. I love oil of oregano. I love broad spectrum probiotics. I love keeping your liver empty, because your liver, and drink lots of water, because your kidneys are a big filtration system too, and you gotta think Niagara Falls when it comes to your kidneys. Water, water, water. Okay? Thank you. That was a very good question, as all of them are. Okay, let's get back to the questions. That was Rafaela. Darla asked the first one. Lori gives me a lot of details here about her husband who's going to be 70. That makes him a young guy. It's all perspective, okay? When I hear that somebody's only 70, I go, that's young, okay, compared to me. But he's been having trouble, and they can't seem to find out what the problem is. And Lori, look, I mean, I would need to ask about 100 questions. You know me, I'm a question guy. You came to my office, you filled out a questionnaire that took you 20 to 25 minutes to fill out. You couldn't see me without doing it. And some people didn't like that, okay? I don't like filling out a questionnaire. Well, this is my office. And when you come to see moi, Dr. Martin, you are going to fill out a questionnaire. And there's a reason for it. Because I have lots of questions that I want to ask you. And I want you to fill that out and give me detail. Why? I'm a history guy. I want to know your history. I want to know all about your symptoms. I want to know all those things. So let me just say this, Lori. Reading your thing, and you can send me, send info@martinclinic.com, more information, okay? But I am suspicious when they have not found anything with your husband, and he is having stomach pain, side pain, I'm suspicious that it's cortisol. I'm suspicious. I'm not saying 100% without me doing all my testing that I would have done in the office. But I have a feeling that your husband, stress hormone, and remember, cortisol increases inflammation in your body. If you give cortisol a full-time job, it's going to create havoc in your body because it's not meant to have that kind of a full-time job. If I was testing your husband in my days of practice, I could tell very shortly by doing a urine test for cortisol. I almost guarantee you that's something, and doctors just don't. I hate to be negative about physicians, okay? God bless them. But when it comes to the adrenal glands, unless you have Cushing's or unless you have Addison's disease, they don't even look at that stuff, usually. But I'm big into hormones, as you guys know. And I really think cortisol is what's going on. Hey, I might be wrong, but I think I might be onto something. Susan, can Dr. Martin speak about the subject high creatinine kinase? Well, that's a test that's done. It's a kidney function test. Okay? And when you have high creatinine levels, you got kidney stress. It doesn't mean your kidneys are diseased. It means they're stressed. And I'll give you things that will stress your kidneys. Possibly. Dehydration. Too much sugar. Not protein, sugar. Okay? Dehydration. Too much sugar. Medication. Tylenol, liver. Advil, kidneys. No, they can do both. Tylenol, very specific, usually side effects, liver, and severe liver damage. Big time. Be careful with that stuff. Advil, usually, not always, kidneys. Okay, can affect your liver too, but kidneys. So a lot of times, and antibiotics, even in the past, can affect your kidneys' function. The kidneys, though, are fearfully and wonderfully made like the rest of your body is, and they can be regenerated to a big extent. I've seen it. I've seen it. Cut out the sugar. But that's what it means. If those levels of creatinine, okay, it's not creatine, it's creatinine, kinase, Those is a kidney function test. As I hit my phone. Okay. That was Susan. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Louise, what do you think of dry fasting? I don't think of it at all. I don't think anyone should do that. I don't agree with that. I agree with fasting, but not drinking? Not drinking water? That's not good for you. For any length of time, it's not good for you. So Louise, I would tell you, forget that one. What are the benefits of it? There's no benefits of it. Your body is 70, you're like planet Earth, okay? Planet Earth is 70 to 75% water, right? Well, so is your body. And every cell in your body needs water. And you better be drinking water, and I like coffee too. But no, I don't believe in dry fasting. I've never talked about it. I don't believe it for 1 second that anybody should be doing dry fasting. You're damaging your kidneys. That's not good for you. I wouldn't do it. Why would you do it? I don't know. If someone is online and saying that there's benefits to dry fasting, nah. I don't believe it. Okay. Thanks for the question, Louise. Liette went to emergency. Thought she had an ear infection. The doctor said it wasn't. It was a buildup of wax related to a jaw. Well, TMJ, right? The jaw could be fixated or displaced to some extent. Very tiny little holding elements, the little tendons there around the jaw and ligaments. That can be an effect. Look, what I would do, you've been putting oil of oregano around the ear. Yeah, don't put it right in the ear. I like quercetin. When it comes to congestion, okay, I'm a big guy on quercetin. It's a powerful antihistamine. It opens up the, what I did, okay, for allergies and that, I always combined quercetin with pine bark extract, Navitol. The reason is because Navitol elevates nitric oxide. The little wee blood vessels open up. Psst. More blood, the more it drains. And quercetin, both of them are antihistamine. And I like the combination of the two. And for a decongestion and whatever, can be very good. Thank you. And that was Liette. And Nancy's asking a question. She's been taking B12 and her recent lab test said she's very high. Okay. So what? And Nancy, so what? It's high. That don't mean nothing. It really doesn't. The only time I'm concerned about B12 is when it's low. It's a water-soluble vitamin, okay? And high sometimes means that it's in your blood, but do you know where B12 belongs? In your cells. B12 belongs in your cells. So the blood test, first of all, it's 100 years old. We should give the B12 a big birthday party, 100-year anniversary, and then put it to rest. Because doctors hardly even look at B12 anymore. And if it's high, no one gets sick from having high B12. Why? It's water soluble. When the body doesn't need it, it gets rid of it. You can't become toxic on it. Listen, not that I didn't look at numbers. I actually wanted B12 to be higher than lower. But I also had a B12 questionnaire because with B12, I wanted to know symptoms. What are you feeling? Tired all the time? It could be B12. Yawning all the time? Sucking for oxygen? Probably B12. Anemia? You know, people talk about iron. But I also talked about B12 anemia, which doctors don't even look for anymore. And the vast majority of people don't get enough B12. It's a very finicky vitamin. it's a hard to absorb, and that's why, you know, they used to give B12 shots, and now they find out that actually when you take a sublingual B12, sublingual under the tongue B12, and let a little tablet dissolve in your mouth, if you swallow B12, as a supplement, you're not getting it. Okay? And where do you get B12 in food, by the way? Steak. And no one has ever overdosed on steak. Okay? So thanks for the question. And that was Nancy. Don't worry about having high levels of B12 in your blood. Don't mean much. Okay? Excuse me. Kathy, I just wanted to ask Dr. Martin what his take is on colostrum. I love colostrum. Okay? I love colostrum. What do you think makes mommy's breast milk so good? Colostrum. In the first few weeks, baby gets, when they're breastfed, they get a lot of colostrum. Now, as a supplement, I don't know. Not so sure. But I like colostrum because babies that are breastfed, those are the healthiest babies. And it's been proven. You know, I lived in a generation, okay? It started in the 1950s when I was a little baby, that the world thought God was stupid and that they were smart. And they said, well, breastfeeding, no, we can make formula better than breast milk. No, you can't. And for about, did it last 20 years? That craziness, right? Bottle fed, better than breastfed. I'm serious. Okay? And now they completely reversed that. Completely reversed that. And said, no. I mean, the jury's in, and the verdict is breast milk, there's nothing like it. Complete. You cannot match it bottle fed. But like I said, I was born into a generation that the world went stupid. Okay? And tried to outdo breast milk. Did they even come close? Nope, they didn't. They didn't. Okay? Thank you very much. Kathy. Deanna. What are my thoughts on lion's mane mushroom supplements? Well, I like lion's mane. Okay? I like mushrooms. I do. There's some real good research on lion's mane and the brain. I like high DHA better, but I like lion's mane. Okay? I've read a lot of research on it. And it actually was one of our formulas in the brain, if we can ever get it back. Oh, don't get me going. Anywho, I like it, Deanna, for sure. I like high DHA better, though, because your brain's made up of high DHA. Your brain's made up of DHA fat. If you want to restore the brain, I like that. I like Navital too for the brain. Why? Because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, and for small vessel, it opens up with nitric oxide. I love that. Vitamin D is very good because it elevates nitric oxide too in the brain. Okay? Deanna, thank you very much. Gisela. Reading a lot of benefits about hydrogen water. I've read about it too. I'm not saying I'm against it. I just don't buy it. I don't buy that it fixes everything from warts on your nose to, pimples on your nose to warts on your toes. You know, when they come out with stuff, fix your water, add hydrogen to it, and it's a powerful antioxidant, and add more hydrogen. I don't know. I don't buy it, guys. I just don't buy it. I haven't seen near enough research to prove that. I'm a water guy. You guys know that. And I remember, like, there was machines that were selling for $4,000 or $5,000, and Keegan water, and I don't even know what they call that stuff. And it always used to come across my desk because I had a radio show. They wanted me to promote it and say, you got to buy this machine to change your water, to change the electrical grid in your water. And like, the only thing I wanted you to do with water is filter it. If you're going to drink tap, make sure you get all that garbage out of there. I'm a big guy on drinking spring water because it's got minerals in it. And if you want to add a little bit of salt to your water, I like that. I like electrolytes. Okay? But spring water has electrolytes in it. That's why I like it better than anything else in terms of water. Hydrogen, putting hydrogen in your water, I don't know. I'm a skeptic guy in a lot of ways. Look, if you could prove it to me, clinically, I sign people, and like I said, there was nothing new under the sun. It came to my desk, and, Dr. Martin, we want you to promote this. Nah, I'm sorry. I promote, but not when I'm not convinced. Okay, so you want to get it? I don't care. It ain't going to hurt you. Okay, and that was, hold on, who asked me that? That was Gisela. Thanks for the question. Gisela, I want you to ask. Don't be shy. Folks, ask questions. Okay? I'm going to give you my 2 pennies worth. I'm going to give you my, Okay? Annette, what causes a heart to skip a beat? You're in love? I think, okay, there's a song for that. My heart skips a beat when she walked down the street. Is that a song, or am I making that up? I think it's a song. I'm an old guy, right? That's got to be an old song. But is it really a song? I don't know if I just made that. I don't think I made it up. I think I heard it before. Okay, what causes a heart to skip a beat? Well, look, you can get a condition called atrial fib, or you can have your heart go into arrhythmia. And I've seen it with low levels of B12. I've seen it with low levels of magnesium. I've seen it with low levels of CoQ10. Remember, CoQ10 is really good. Okay, your body makes it for your mitochondria. Where do you have the most mitochondria? In your brain, in your heart. Okay, your muscles have a lot of mitochondria, but you got a lot of mitochondria in your heart. And when you don't have enough CoQ10, and by the way, to get CoQ10, you need to eat meat. Otherwise, take a supplement. ubiquinol, CoQ10. If you're taking a statin drug, you better be on ubiquinol. Okay. But those are reasons, right? Low magnesium, low B12, I've seen that. Perhaps low vitamin D, low CoQ10. Those are the reasons, Annette, and maybe love. I'm laughing at myself because I don't know where that came from. Okay. Carolyn, Dr. Martin, could you tell us how many years of study it took you to achieve your PhD in clinical nutrition and your PhD in natural medicine? A long time. A long time. Now remember, I graduated from the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College in 1974. I got my PhD in clinical nutrition. I wrote a thesis on chronic fatigue syndrome, the modern woman's curse. I published my thesis into a book, and I received my PhD in clinical nutrition in 1997. And I can't even remember when I got my PhD. And you know how many hours it takes to get a PhD in natural medicine? 4,000 hours of study. 4,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. Probably about 2,000 for nutrition and in clinical nutrition. So I've been around a long time, guys. Lots of studying, and I still study. I study every day. I study every day. And I try and keep updated. And you know, somebody asked me, I think it was yesterday, or may have been the day before, asked me about, what do you do, Dr. Martin? You're retired. What do you do? Well, I might be retired from practice, but I have not stopped with one of my favorite subjects, and that is health. Okay? And I try and keep updated. I try and be relevant. I try and produce these podcasts for you guys. Okay? And that requires a lot of reading, but that's all right. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Okay? It's a song, somebody said. It is a song, right? I didn't just make that up. Okay. I am going to go find it after and get the words to it. Thanks, Carolyn, for asking. You know, people ask me about my background all the time. I appreciate that. Okay. Maureen, how much K2 should be taking with vitamin D3? Well, look, there's different theories on that. Okay. And it depends on who you're reading. I like, you know, like you get it from 100 micrograms to 10 micrograms per every 1,000 IUs. Just two schools of thought. I think our vitamin D with K2 is I think, and I'm biased, guys, it's the best one on the market. The most bioavailable that I believe, because I wouldn't use it if I didn't think it was the best. But anyway, I love K2. Now let me just refresh your memory. When you eat cheese, right, you get calcium. You get, when you get vitamin D strengthens your bones. Why? It produces calcium. But that's why K2 is good, because K2 is like a bouncer. It doesn't allow calcium to stay in your bloodstream. So when you eat a piece of cheese and you got calcium, well, K2 in the cheese takes the calcium in the cheese and puts it in your bones where it belongs, not in your blood. Someone asked, I think, because, hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm not going to get it through everything this morning, I don't think. Nope. Okay, let me just see. Somebody asked me this. Oh, here it is, Faith. I'm curious about the measurement of calcium in the blood. What is a safe amount? Well, probably about 1%. Okay? You need a little bit of calcium in your blood, but not much. Calcium belongs in your bones. Calcium belongs in your teeth. Calcium, you need calcium, guys. But that's why I want you to eat calcium. Okay? You got osteoporosis? Don't take calcium as a supplement. Take vitamin D with K2 and eat a lot of butter, dairy, meat, eggs. Why? Because in osteoporosis, yes, you need calcium, but you should eat calcium because all those foods that I just mentioned have vitamin K2 in it. And if you have high calcium in your blood, that ain't good. Hypercalcemia is not good. Okay, that can be a sign that your body is near the end stages of life. And that your parathyroid glands, parathyroid, on the side of your thyroid, you got two little wee peas. They're the size of a pea. That regulates your calcium production. If you have kidney disease, that can be a very serious disorder, is having too much calcium in your blood. You're not filtering it out. But that's why vitamin K2 is so good for you, okay? Anyways, okay. Let me go to Claude. Knowing the importance of water. You're so smart, Claude. 2 to 4 liters a day. Okay. At least 2. Okay? At least 2. You mentioned in your book, Rebuild Your Temple. Well, Claude, thank you for buying the book. That we have to be sure we're absorbing the water as it's possible. We need electrolytes, sodium and magnesium. Now remember what I just said earlier, Claude. When you drink spring water, okay? When you drink spring water, you have electrolytes built in. Now, if you do a lot of sweating, you want to maybe add some electrolytes to your water, okay? People that dehydrate very quickly, they might want to add. So when you add, you know what's got 84 minerals in it? Sea salt. I like a good quality Himalayan salt. But guys, like a good kosher salt, Baltic, I think is very good salt. Get a good salt, add it a little pinch in your water, and you got electrolytes. Some people buy electrolytes to add to their water. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Okay? If they need it, some people just dehydrate very, very quickly. They're on medication or they sweat a lot. Just the way they are, they sometimes need to add electrolytes. Okay? Well, the water is being absorbed. Okay? For sure, your water gets absorbed into your body because it has its own direct route into your body. If you're just drinking water, it doesn't have to be processed through your gut or whatever. It's into your bloodstream in 30 seconds, nanoseconds. That's why water is so good for you. But if you want to make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes, that's another question. Okay, thank you. That was Claude. Hold on, this is Lee's. I had my half thyroid removed 1995, taking thyroid formula, doing a little bit better. Can I increase the amount of cap? Yeah, you can see. Like if your numbers on your thyroid, your doctors are looking at you, but if you're feeling pretty good, Lee's, if your eye pressure, that can affect, you could. Thyroid affects eye pressure, it can. I try a little bit more. Thyroid formula is such a good formula. Okay, so I just want to make sure this is taken care of before it damages my eyes. Yeah. And remember, DHA too, these, okay? For any kind of pressure like glaucoma or whatever, DHA is so good for the eyes. I like combining DHA with Navitol. I like combining Navitol with almost everything. But Navitol has nitric oxide, antioxidant, protecting the eyes. And I've proven it to hundreds and hundreds of optometrists and ophthalmologists over the years. Because they always talked about elderberry or whatever was good for the eyes. And I liked that they looked to natural solutions. But I said, if you put DHA with Navitol, you watch what happens with your eyes. Okay, and the thyroid I like. I love that formula, obviously. Okay, Joanne is asking about her husband. who is diagnosed with vascular dementia and you discontinued Navitol, don't do that, Joanne. Give him Navitol. Crosses the blood-brain barrier. There's no side effects to it. Not going to hurt him. And if he's got signs of vascular dementia, you got to do everything. High DHA, big time. And blood vessels, blood flow, Navitol. Okay? Big time. Okay, what else are you asking? I wanted to reintroduce Navitol, but because of brain bleeds, I thought best to reach out. Yeah, well, you can increase your DHA with your husband. I'd have him on at least 4 DHA capsules, high DHA, and I would have him on at least 4 Navitol, especially with his diagnosis. Okay? Especially with his diagnosis. And vascular, blood flow. Cut out the sugar. Cut out the sugar. Nothing destroys blood vessels like sugar. Okay? Sylvie, how are you? Dr. Martin always talks about eggs and bacon. You're making me hungry. Sylvie, bacon and eggs. You know how many patients gave me a hug at the office when I told them, I want you to change your breakfast. I want you to get off those oats and have bacon and eggs without toast. They got up and gave me a hug. I love bacon and eggs. My doctor said I couldn't do it anymore. You can't have that. Well, your doctor don't know anything about nutrition. Isn't it wonderful that they're finally, it's coming out now. They changed the food pyramid in the United States. I'm not holding my breath for Canada. They switched it. They turned it upside down. And they want you to eat meat and eggs and dairy. Where they used to put grains at the best. You need grains. Grains. Brought to you by Kellogg's and Post cereals. That's what happened. That's how it started. They bought and paid for the food pyramid. And they lied to people for 60 years. That grains were the best thing for you. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay. Now, that was my little rant. Now, back to the question. Sylvie goes, what about, Dr. Martin, you're eating bacon and eggs, and you say it's the same oil as olive oil? Yeah. Okay, you got olive oil. Do I like olive oil? Yeah. Do I love it? Yeah, I love olive oil. It's good for you. It really is. Okay? Bacon. Oleic acid. Olive oil, oleic acid. Bacon, oleic acid. Which one do I like better? Bacon. Why? Well, it's got the same oil, but it's got saturated fat. It's good for you. It's got B12. It's good for you. It's got protein. It's good for you. It's got healthy fat. It's good for you. No, I got pushed back on that for 50 years. So push back if you want. I told people, who vilified bacon? Who vilified it? The cereal companies. Who vilified eggs? The cereal companies. And then they got to the cardiologist. And the cardiologist, because they don't take any nutrition, they said, okay, butter's bad, eggs are bad, meat is bad, a little bit, not much. Don't eat bacon, it's bad for you. Look at all the fat around bacon. Fat makes you fat. Fat gives you cholesterol. Fat, bad. They became saturated fat, stupid. And I always push back against that. You've known me, some people know me, even on this program this morning, known me for 50 years. I mean it. And I always said, no, bacon and eggs. How much, Doc? As much as you like. As much as you like. Okay. And wait a minute, what else were you asking me, Sid V? Is lard the same fatty acid as bacon? Similar, not exactly the same. Lard is very good for you. And can I make a bone broth with that? Or yeah, absolutely you can. Right? Might not taste good. I love bone broth. It's so good for you. Right? And lard is so good for you. I used to do a lot of cooking in lard, right? Until man thought they were smarter than God. I'm going to write a book on that. They changed the oil. They changed the fat. They changed the sugar. And they said, well, natural's not, we're going to change it because we're smart. Yeah, you're not that smart. Okay. Thanks, Sid V. Okay, let me see. I got one. Teresa, Chantal. Yeah, I'm done, guys. I got 3 or 4 more questions. Are the probiotics soil-based, Doreen? Yes, they are. Okay. Look, I'm going to finish this on, we'll do it Monday. Okay. Soho, guys, thanks for the questions. So good. Okay. We love you guys. We think highly of you. And we appreciate you coming on. Now, this morning at 8 o'clock, I did a little devotional on our new book, Rebuild Your Temple. It's a private Facebook book club. And many of you came on this morning on that 8 o'clock. I plan on doing that, okay, on Fridays. Maybe we'll add some more. I don't know. We'll wait till the feedback comes in. That was my first this morning, okay? We appreciate the folks that came on with us. That book is hot, guys. Thanks to you. We appreciate that, okay? And we'll talk to you soon.